Just sitting there, like, there's no waves, Eastern North Carolina, it's summer. I'm swinging these hammocks. I ain't making a damn dime. And I'm like, that is sick. I was blown away, and I went out and hit balls the next day. Went out to Ironwood. We call it Ironweed. Went out to Ironwood, hit some balls, went to my dad, and I said, and it makes me almost cry, dude, but, like, because my dad passed, and I love that dude. I said, Dad, I want to play golf again. And I'm like 25. And I said, what do you think? He said, son, I thought you'd never ask.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Straight Down the Middle-ish. We are joined by, just a freaking legend. 2-time winner on tour. Lived in a van down by the river. Welcome up to Jacksonville, Florida, Mr. Will MacKenzie.
Yes.
Thanks.
And, yeah, we throw, Aaron, I know you're guilty of throwing the word that word around a lot, legend, but you're cheapening that word when guys like Willy Mac are around. Because this is a real one.
To the avid golf fan, I think a lot of people know Will MacKenzie, but for the non-avid golf fans, they're about to learn.
You should know him.
Shit here. You should learn. Yes.
Yeah, you should.
Cult hero.
Forewarning: this episode's gonna be all over the place because I've spent enough time with you, Will. I know how it goes.
It's ADD, I guess.
Yeah.
ADD.
You got it, ADHD. Who doesn't have it these days?
I mean, my kids have it. They're only 12 and 14. We're already just medicating the living dog crap.
Our whole family had
I actually steal them from my son.
Ritalin 10.
Addies. Gotta have them. Just mainly to clean stuff nowadays. It's not even to live properly. It's just to clean house and clean up after, women and children.
Is that the routine? Once a month, instead of getting the cleaner in, just pop little halfer.
Yeah, just try to get the highest milliGs you can get.
Is it Adderall or Dadderall?
It's daddies.
For all you people out there, not motivated to clean your house,
get Addies.
First tip of the day.
Yeah, it's pretty basic. Go see a psychologist or psychiatrist for $175, and then you're dialed in for 12 months of Addies.
It's the great cheat code in life, right there.
Well, nobody in the world is like you, especially in the golf world. Tell the people a little bit about yourself. Will MacKenzie came into my life. I was I believe I was a sophomore or junior in high school, and I started taking lessons from this dude Kevin Smeltz at Champions Gate, and I believe you were living there. That's when you picked the game back up. You had a pretty long hiatus from high school to how old?
Yeah. I took off competitive golf from 14 to 25.
Jeez.
And I did.
That's not a very important range.
I did play.
Right?
Excuse me. I did play high school golf in my 9th and 10th. We played 18-hole matches, so I got out of school at like 9 a.m. And by then I was gone. Mentally, I was not into golf at all. I lost a big junior tournament when I was 14, and I shut it down. I didn't play any more AJGA or, any East Coast golf or AJGA events after I was 14. I had started back playing at 25.
Which was what year?
Which is now like a veteran on tour.
Right. I was old, bro. Mainly everybody was like, there's no chance.
Dude, you nobody on tour goes from the age of 14 to 25 and doesn't touch a golf ball.
But no, and
one of one.
I was just like you and Pricey or the normal young golfer. I was playing with the desire to become a PGA Tour player from 12 to 14. I was hitting, a teacher bucket of balls every single day. I was playing tournament golf around the Southeast, and like I said, I lost that AJGA Ben Hogan boys in Las Colinas and lost my shit. I was like, I butchered it. I missed I 3-putted like 17, missed a short one for the victory on 18, and went to a playoff and lost a playoff. And I said, that is terrible. I was so pissed and livid. I get back home. This was late in the summer, and my mom's like, we got to go get school supplies for 8th grade or 9th grade, whatever grade I was going into. And I go, are you kidding me? All I did was play golf this summer. I didn't even have fun. I didn't do anything down at the river. I didn't fish. I didn't. I we weren't really into wakeboarding then. We water skied, barefooted. We did everything down at the river. We had a sick little river cottage down in eastern North Carolina. And I was just lost. I needed a sports psychologist at the time.
Ooh.
All important question: who beat you in that playoff?
The guy's name, I think he went to Georgia Tech. Is it Jason Walters or something?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
He was pure. He was pure, and but I was like, I can't believe I just lost to this kook. I mean, he was a kook. I had him beat.
Yeah.
And everybody else in the field. And I remember it was funny. David Duvall. I was shooting pool. I was in the 13, 14 age group, and the 15 to 18 age group was there. And that second day, I shot like 70. It was like howling like 30 at Las Colinas, and or 69. And I got back, and I was like a couple back from the main lead of 15 to 18. And I was playing pool in there, like pool shark. And then Duval was pure at pool too. He was in the older age group, and he said something like, I heard him say something like, it was either him or Hank Keenan said, slippery pencil. And I was like, oh, shit, I'm about to fight somebody up in here.
That's an accusation.
It was a heavy Aki, and I let it go. I didn't care, but
It's an insecure older boy.
yeah, it was funny. I mean, I love Duval. I mean, he can be a little funky, but
Did you ever
I
ask-
really like him.
He's a good dude.
Did you ever ask Hank about that when you met up with him later in life?
You know, it was cool. Hank, I met up with Hank on the Canadian tour. I was trying to qualify for the Canadian tour. And I'm like, you remember me? He's like, oh, yeah, I remember you. I mean, I didn't play many events with him. And he came out like my fast friend after that. He
Really?
took good care of me. I mean, I was going through, he let me live with him for free. He took me to the Bears
How do you?
Club.
So
He hooked me up, bro.
You're out of golf for let's say
It's like 8
decade.
years.
8 to 10 years. How do you? What makes you want to get back into it at 25?
I went to Costa Rica. Like 99-ish, 98. I don't know.
You
where
went
it was.
everywhere.
Yeah.
You went
Yeah,
Alaska.
well, I went to Alaska. Okay.
You like
but
Into the
I
Wild.
had-
Everyone's seen the movie Into the Wild. That
Yeah.
was based on Will MacKenzie.
Yeah, he was just eating. You gotta watch what you eat out there, though.
Yeah.
I went to Costa to heal my body. I did the 3-month thing. You can go for 3 months. And I went there to heal my body because I was beat up. I'd already had surgery on both knees from snowboarding. I had like bad injuries because I was doing it like I wanted to,
To the max.
to be on tour.
Yeah.
And so I went there, and it was after that I came home, and I'd imported all these hammocks from the Yucatan, of Mexico, to try to sell. I was buying them for $6.50 a piece, $7.
Is this Shark Tank?
Selling them for $50. Just it was a tough deal. Selling against Hatter's hammocks and shit like that.
Oh, you can't compete with Hatteras.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed.
And I sold them all over eastern North Carolina at surf shops.
What a hustle.
Yeah, I was hustling, probably selling weed on the side too.
Sure.
But anyway, so where was I? Okay, I'm swinging these hammocks, and it's great, and I'm surfing a little bit, and I still hadn't played golf, and it was that summer I got back, and I saw the 99. Yeah, it was the 99. I just got back. 99 U.S. Open, Pinehurst #2, Payne against Phil. And when I grew up, I loved some freaking Payne. I mean, I was like, look at this guy's wearing freaking
great.
knickers, man. I mean, guys wearing knickers out there. And he was pure, and Phil was like young gun at that point. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess he was established, but he was the man. I'd played in the North-South. I'd played in the Donald Ross Jr.
It's your part of the country.
It's my part of the country. I love
Pinehurst,
friggin' Pinehurst. And, dude, I'm just sitting there like there's no waves. Eastern North Carolina, it's summer. I'm swinging these hammocks. I ain't making a damn dime. And I'm like, that is sick.
Mm-hmm.
I was blown away. And I went out and hit balls the next day. Went out to Ironwood. We call it Ironweed. Went out to Ironwood, hit some balls, went to my dad, and I said, and it makes me almost cry, dude. But like, because my dad passed and I love that dude.
Oh.
I said, Dad, I want to play golf again. And I'm like 25.
Uh-huh.
The bug is back.
And I said, what do you think? He said, son, I wish you, I thought you'd never ask, because he let me go. He wanted me to be on tour.
Sure.
And he let me go. I said, no, I'm going out to Montana, bro. I'm doing what the hell I want. I'm sorry, Dad. And he had to suck it up and be like,
But
Yeah.
a quick
I'm gonna let you go,
That's where
sir.
your heart's at. Go ahead.
I'm going to let you go do your thing, son.
Yeah.
And then he was so like stoked.
But he was right, because
when I
you came back and won 2 PGA Tour events. Maybe that thing you keep grinding and grinding. We all know the junior golfers who are good at 14, 15 didn't even play college golf or played 1 year of college golf, fizzled. So, maybe so, maybe not. Maybe Dad was right.
I know so. Just because I would have burned out, Pricey, if I would have kept going. I mean, I burned out at 14. I was definitely going to burn out if I went to, say, Carolina or Florida, or if I tried to go to a bigger school. I would have burned out in college for sure. So it's definitely a blessing in disguise.
We were talking about Billy was in here the other day, and he was talking about how good of an athlete he is, and you are
way better athlete than Billy.
Well, yeah. I mean, you might be the best one ever on tour.
Yeah.
You're so coordinated, dude.
Well, here's an
Extreme
idea.
sport athlete.
Look, with the live and the tour's pivoting. Why doesn't the tour have some, Christmas thing? All the golfers put your hand up, like a multi-sport camp, like they do it in Australia.
I'm in for that.
No, like the Pro Bowl right
Olympics.
now. They're doing dodgeball and stuff. Like that would be sick.
Imagine the tour trying to identify the best athlete. That would be a huge.
I think you'd be surprised.
Can I copyright that?
Yeah.
I think you'd be surprised. I think
Sure.
there's some better athletes. I mean, you think you're a good athlete, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then. I think there's a lot of guys that are pretty good athletes. We know there's guys that have a high level hand-eye coordination. You could go with
I've
Steve
seen you
Marino
do,
and,
like, I know.
and play darts against this dude. He's going to freaking kill you.
I know.
Or
I
any
know.
backyard game that involves hand-eye
Horseshoes.
coordination. There's some world-class
Clark.
ping pong players on tour. There's some great pool players. Yeah, as far as jumping, that's stuff that you have to maintain and like really do to stay good at. Maybe DJ and some guys like that.
I've seen you do gainers over like bushes in the pools.
I can definitely. Well, it's part of that is also you have to. That's mental. That's like I don't give a crap.
You have to be mental.
I was
to do
flipping. So like where I grew up, Eastern North Carolina, if you couldn't flip, if you couldn't do a front like a round off back handspring or round off back flip,
Yeah.
you were like
You were a kook.
You were a total kook. I mean, where I grew up, it was like your black boys and your white boys, and the white boys that were cool could flip because the black boys taught us.
Okay.
And I was like, if you couldn't flip at recess, you're like out there like with your thumb up your butt, like you were
You're a dork.
you're a dork. I mean, you had to be able to flip to be good and to get basketball for homeroom. You just had to be. You had to flip. So I learned to flip in like maybe 3rd or 4th grade.
But let's be honest. Get you a baseball, a football, soccer, tennis. You're gonna look like you've done it. Half the tour.
Oh, dude,
is embarrassing.
But they get a little one-dimensional on golf, and
I said it on another
that's probably
previous
why I
podcast.
burned out.
Golf's one of the only sports you can be pretty much uncoordinated and make millions of dollars.
Well, you have to be coordinated, but
Swimming, you don't have to be like crazy coordinated to be a good swimmer. There's not many.
No coordination in swimming, is there?
Not really. You see some of the swimmers get out and they're like
it's
all
emotion.
gangly and stuff.
Using your arms and legs at the same time?
Yeah, and you need to be big. You need to be tall.
yeah.
But you're an athlete. We'll put it down to that.
Yeah, I would say I'll maybe a top 20 athlete out there on tour.
So, Will, you're a huge outdoorsman. How did you wind up in Montana? Why'd you pick that?
Well, it was a process of elimination. I took 40 out west and did like Albuquerque, and from there I was
staying here.
I was like, Taos, nah. Then I headed north. I went up, and next thing you know, I'm in that like Telluride area, that southwest Colorado. I was like, man, this is sick. I love Telluride, but they didn't allow snowboarding at the time, and I was snowboarding junkie. I mean, my roots are in skiing, but I was snowboarding at the time, and I said, man, I'm gonna snowboard. So they didn't allow that. I camped out there for about 10 days in that box canyon. I was like, this place is heaven. And then, went through the whole Colorado, Summit County stuff. I was like, negative, Ghost Rider. Headed up north, into the Mormon world of the Wasatch and Salt Lake City. I was like, don't think so. And then
Girls are pretty there.
Oh, they are. I enjoy
Just
myself
hard work.
wherever I was. So like then
So through Utah.
closet. They think it's hard work, and then they're like, it's just like the Canadian women, in the summer, like all of a sudden it's summertime, and like they're like, let's party.
What's the joke about the Mormons and the drinking? Like if there's two Mormons, they won't drink. If there's a Mormon on their own, they'll drink your whole fridge. maybe it's the same way with the women. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is.
So through Utah, and now you're making your way up north.
Yeah, then I went to Jackson, and I was like, okay, Jackson. So I got a job. Everybody that's talked to me knows. I got a little job at Taco Bell because I actually ran out of money there, so I needed to, replenish the funds. I needed about $300 to move forward.
It sounds like an amazing
$300. I lived in Jackson, worked at Taco Bell, and tried to figure out how I was going to work on the mountain, and I was going to be a snowpacker at Snow King, early season, where you
Is that different from
the real boots on the ground?
Boots on the ground stuff, and they had given me
I got you a free card, didn't
free ski pass.
Free ski pass.
So I was stoked on that. I was like, okay, I'm digging it, but I don't know. It just I was living in the van in the freaking post office parking lot, and I just wasn't real dialed in Jackson. I was like, I don't know about this, and I finally.
So you went up in the summer to Montana.
I said I'm just
Big
gonna.
Sky.
I said I'm gonna go north one more time. I knew a buddy that had been to Big Sky and said it was sick, so I went to Big Sky, and it was like first day everything just fell in place. I talked to the right dude. He goes, "Yeah, we need a security guard." And I said,
I'm your guy.
I said, do I get a gun? Do I get a gun? Because I am a redneck too. So I go both ways. I can wield a handgun. He's like, no, you're not getting a gun yet.
What a taser. Taser, can we compromise on
You get a flashlight.
Mag light.
What a baton.
You get a flashlight. He paid.
What a helmet.
He was going to pay me well and give me a ski pass. And I said, I'm in. Granted, I got fired in about a month.
For what?
Yeah, I'd be in the employee cafeteria.
That was just not on Netflix.
I'd be in the employee cafeteria and I hadn't shaved, and they wanted you to shave. I go, we're in Montana, bro.
Right?
Who shaves? But I'd go into the employee housing, and these are the kids that don't go to college, Yep. And it's a lot of West Coast kids, but there's some East Coast and Minnesota kids. And they'd be lighting the trash can on fire and stuff. I'd be like, keep doing what you're doing, boys. And I just didn't enforce any rules. And
no security at all.
Yeah, but I had this
Probably partake.
I had a North Face security jackets and security on the back. They're like, Willy, Mac, come on, we're good.
It's like the whole monitor that you're always wanted.
It was fun. It was like the dream job of all dream jobs. So got booted from that. I think they revoked my season ski pass. This is preseason though. We hadn't even started the season. And so I went and started working in the main dining room doing dishes, and I got a ski pass that first year. First year, we got about 550 inches.
Ooh.
Wow.
It was one of those dream years where I'm listening to Slayer and Metallica in the back, busting, doing dishes out, and it's just, there's one window and it's dumping every day. And I just had the time of my life. So I was hooked. I was like, yeah, I'm living here now.
Yeah.
I'm going to be here forever.
And then
I did 5 winters.
Did you meet a love interest out there?
Several.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we don't call it, it's Montana, but we also call it Mantana. There's not many. Everybody's like, there's a girl. It's like a race to get the girl.
A Montana 7.
Tell us about one of the girls you dated.
You must have been pretty good though.
Well, I was, dude, I'm a dirtbag at heart living in your van. So I can go, I can go without for a while, women. I can just sit there and, please myself. I can do my own thing. I don't need it.
Like a barbecuing alone.
Yeah, I just chill. And
you don't need that.
But yeah, but then there comes a time where you gotta, you're like a camel to water. You've been out the day.
You need the smell, the touch.
You're like, where's women? So yeah, we had,
that had to be
I
the
always
most.
had a girl around. And back in the days, I left there and started working down the hill. Like that first year, I was like, dude, I'm not going to slave in here doing 300 dinners and busting dishes out and being a dish dog. So I started working down the mountain at a small restaurant. By then I was dialed in. I was a local. And this is the middle of my first season. I started working for a guy named Dick Allgood at Allgood's Bar and Grill. And
That's a great last name.
I worked there forever. And I would sometimes go cook breakfast on the weekends if I don't want to snowboard. And then, but mainly I just worked nights from 4 to 10. And I'd be out by 11. I'd go sleep in my van, wake up, and go snowboarding at 9 a.m. when the resort opened.
And then when it turned into summertime, you're a big boater. You got into being a kayak guide.
Yeah, that first year.
guide.
How do you stay warm in your van in Montana when it's fucking dumping snow?
Well, it was important that you have a great sleeping bag. That's like first and foremost. I had a North Face Bigfoot. I'll go to REI every now and then and kind of just look at their gear and be like, okay, what would I be doing if I was in Montana now? And there's, you need like a 10 below to 20 below bag out there, pretty much minimum. So I had a great bag. That was a big purchase for me. That thing was probably $350 back in the days, and I slept in that thing every night, half the time just free balling, dead naked. I've slept in there with like hot water bottles too. I've slept in there with full face balaclavas when it's so cold where like your breath is just like you got to cover your face.
How often do you wash that thing?
Not much. Not much. I mean, I don't know if I've ever.
I bet never.
Because you just you're like, I might ruin this thing, and it's so important.
And those Montana ladies just crept in there.
Yeah, they wouldn't really get.
Did the hair on their legs keep you warmer?
Yeah. That's the one thing. Like, it was tough to bring them into the van.
Really?
There's not that many that are willing to go.
Let's go to your place.
There are.
Tiger Lily was.
Oh yeah, she's a van dweller too.
Okay.
So I mean, most of my girls were not afraid of sleeping outside. Either they lived outside, or in a vehicle, or they were not afraid. Or just they had to get.
Well, they had enough juice.
They just had to get into the van with me.
Yeah. Love it.
It was a great time.
So that chapter ends. You go down to Costa Rica, rehab, and then
Yep.
let's play professional golf.
Yep.
And you're the Hooters Tour Player of the Year. You don't know this about me, but you inspired me to take the same damn route and failed miserably. But what was your reception like from players? Like, did you know a lot of those guys when you got back out there, or they're just like, where the hell did this guy come from? He's taking all our money.
Man.
I don't think that many knew me. I contacted a dude named Ryan Geoffrey that I played all over. He was from Greensboro. He was really good, and it was basically him that I said, what do I do? He goes, well, I don't know, bud. I mean, you've been gone for a long time. But if I was you, I would just start grinding every day. So I just said, my whole goal was I'm going to outwork everybody. Yeah. I'm going to outwork them, and then, I'm going to slowly catch them. I know they got a big head start on me, through late high school and college golf. But I'll just outwork them, and then I'll finally – I knew guys were going to be burning out.
Where did you get that work ethic? Do you think that came late, or did you always have that?
I think it was just like the only way. I think that was where I was at.
This is kind of who you are too, though.
Yeah, you're 100 or nothing.
You're full on or checked out.
Yeah, not as much now. I don't know if I still have that kind of work ethic that I had. I had a belief.
We're getting old.
Exactly. I had a belief at that point. I was like, man, it's 100%. It's everything. I'm gonna do it. And it is what it is. And then I remember talking to my mom. She was like, I was like chopping or something and not doing any good. And she was like, what do you think, man? You want to go back to Montana? I had already become an EMT. I had it made out in Montana. I was going to live I'd be working at the Yellowstone Club just chilling right now. But I was like,
I got some friends that are members out there.
We really fucked that up, Willy.
I
Sounds a lot better than PGA Tour Live right now.
I said, Mom, if I fail at Q school and feel like I play really well and don't get through, all right, I'll quit. But until then, I ain't quitting. I'm not going to quit until I make it, and I will make it. So she's like, all right, bud.
Way to will
So
it.
you had
I willed.
You still had the 15-year-old mentality in a 25-year-old body.
Right. And
you'd sort of like left for 10 years, but you were like, I'm mad. I'm just going to keep going.
And if I would have gone straight into it,
huge.
That Costa Rica trip was so vital because if you look at the dudes on like the WSL, every dude's just ripped. I mean, they're in such great shape because you're using your core and you're swimming. Your shoulders are perfect. You know, it's not like it's a huge leg workout, but you're just in great shape. I came back in incredible shape.
They're big on that breath work too, which I like.
I wasn't really doing that down there, but all I was doing is surfing. I wasn't working. I was surfing.
You held under for so long all the time.
I was eating. All I ate in Costa Rica every single day is rice, beans, and eggs for breakfast, rice, like smoothies and stuff at lunch, and then rice, beans, and chicken or like ground beef at dinner and smoothies. And then like liquor and beer.
That too.
but I mean, that's
diet.
all I ate was rice, beans, eggs, and chicken and smoothies. Tons of smoothies. I mean, I was
Importantly, nothing out of a packet. No preservatives.
Nothing, dude. I was feeling like $1 billion when I came back from there. I was just like fired up to go do whatever.
Whoop up on some dorks on the golf course. I mean, you came from some extreme sports. You had to feel like you had a little bit of an extra edge. Kayaking in Montana is no joke. I mean, there's people die on those rivers every single year. Did you feel like there was any kind of extreme element to your game playing those guys?
I mean, I'd already done it. You know, I mean, I definitely had been held upside down, stuck in my kayak several times, like borderline death. And yeah, so, but
now I got to hit a fairway.
But the whole thing about golf is a whole different, like, it's just a different set of circumstances. Like, there's still fear involved in golf too. Now, granted, I wasn't thinking about it, and I only started thinking about it maybe in my older age. Once you get on tour, you're like, man, if I hit it in this shit here, you know, I'm gonna lose 20 G's or whatever. You know, you got a little bit fearful on the stuff, but nothing's life or death, and you gotta like look at it.
But there's an intangible that still I can't explain it. The difference between like a Cam Smith who's not Dustin Johnson or DeChambeau that can compete. There's something on the inside that, you know, Willy Mack from his
thrive
background,
in that moment.
You know, used. But some people can't use it. They're so talented and can't tap into that part. It's nuts.
You got two boys there, Will?
Yeah, two boys, 14 and 12.
Any of them into what
old.
you used to be into, hunting, fishing, golf?
We're not into hunting down there because we're living in South Florida, which there can be some good hunting, but they're both into fishing. So they love to fish. That's their equilibrium, because right now they'll sit on that friggin' phone and play TikTok or do TikTok, and you know they see all this crazy mess of social media, and it's kind of disturbing.
What a contrast!
It's going to be a battle.
You grew up, especially those years out west. Like that's the complete opposite that the kids today, not just your kids, all kids face today, as opposed to you, like, fuck, at 15 or 16, I've had enough. I'm going out west. I'm going to live literally in the nature.
Yeah, well, Maverick, my oldest, he may well do that. He told me, he said, "Yeah, I'm just gonna. I think I'll move out west after high school." Like his old man. I was like, "Go ahead, bro. Do yourself a favor. I'll be visiting you constantly."
Mm-hmm. What about Nash?
Nash is they're both enthralled with this whole social media, but Nash fortunately is pretty bright. Like he gets it. You know, he's a straight A student. Maverick, I just want to get him through at least high school. I mean, or that would be great if he made, you know, I hope he does college. But yeah, he told me, he goes, he told me, he said, yeah, I might go like University of Montana or Montana State or Colorado or something. He goes, but I'm gonna snowboard. I'm gonna ride all day, and I'll take night classes. I guess so. I'm gonna have to fully support your ass while you snowboard all day and then take night classes. I'm sure you're really gonna go to class every night, you idiot. But I love it. I love it when they like to do that little bit of outdoor stuff is so key to, contrast against this inundation of social media that they do. They're just, I can pick them up from school and they could sit on their phone the whole way back home.
That's their cure for boredom, and like
it is.
Boredom is the opportunity to create. That's your mind
that's
telling
the same,
you.
like kids are now constantly entertained, so when they're not entertained, they're like freak out.
Bored. You can't use that word. I remember. Yeah, I just hate that word. I'm bored. Well, go freaking do something,
right?
Yeah. How can you be bored in this life? You can go walk around, anywhere out here.
There's 40,000 million shows you can watch. At least watching a show is not like social media interaction and screen time, but
pick up an instrument.
There's
play
no
some
way
music.
you can be bored. No way.
Well, my little one plays sax, and he actually jams.
That's awesome.
And it's for the school band, but the band dude, the head of the band is pretty cool. And like, I went to see him play sax. Oh, they did their little winter, their little winter concert, and dude, they're playing, they're playing like Herbie Hancock and stuff, which is so epic. And I'm out there like, I'm almost cutting a rug.
Chameleon.
You're the star of the show.
Love Herbie.
I was like, has anybody got any herbs? I'm out there like, man. I was like, Nash.
Where are the single mothers?
My ex-wife Allie's like, dude, be quiet, dude. Everybody's like wearing nice clothes. I'm like, dude, I'm so proud of Nash. He's out there. They were jamming.
Yeah.
And so like, I'm like, dude, play that thing. I don't even care if you can play your, all your sheet music, but learn to play. Listen to reggae stuff. Those brass members jam. It's badass if you do it right.
I'm guessing the school band is a lot cooler than it was when we were, because that's the one maybe positive thing of social media, because it's spread around the world and all the adults love these kids that can jam. Everyone that played an instrument when I was a kid was a dork, and the moment they left high school, they flipped from being a dork to being cool because they were playing shows.
Right.
It was the craziest thing. Like Blink-182 talked about biggest dorks in high school. The moment they leave high school, everyone wanted to be them. But I think social media has probably helped the kids in the band get out there, and then they see it on social media, so all the other kids love it.
Well, like you're saying, I think it's just good for your mind. I was never good. I played, I played violin for like maybe a minute, and I played trumpet in the band for a minute, and then just didn't stick with it. And then tried to start playing guitar later in life, because you're living in a van down by the river. You got to be able to play guitar. So I can play G, C, and D over and over and over again, but was never great at it. But it doesn't really matter. You're so into it when you're doing it, and it's amazing playing instrument. I've always revered instrumentalists. Anybody, bands, and anybody that can play. I'm like, man, that is so sick.
Yeah. Who are you into these days? What kind of music are you listening to?
It's just everything. I'll still listen to hippie music. I'll still listen to Grateful Dead and Fish and Widespread. And then it'll go. I've been into like that 90s grunge stuff, like going back into Alice in Chains and Temple of the Dog and that type of stuff, because I didn't listen to it as much as everybody else. Like, I didn't watch TV from 93 to like 2000. I was basically living in a van.
Yeah.
I was living that life. So I wasn't. And
that's amazing to think about.
That's why I didn't like the word bored.
Yeah, like those.
You didn't miss much those years.
Exactly. Well,
Friends
but music,
and Seinfeld. That's
yeah. And now I watch that stuff. I'm like, oh, Seinfeld. This is hilarious. That Larry David, like his Curb Your Enthusiasm, his comedy is so awesome. Like, I follow Curb Your Enthusiasm on Instagram, and I'll just sit there and watch it. And he'll be walking, and just the funny shit happens to him that is so bizarre, and it trips me out. Yeah, so there's a lot of movies and stuff I missed that I can watch now that are tripping me out.
The Bill Clinton years. You missed them all.
Slick Willy.
Dude,
He plays the sax too.
Does he?
Look out, Nash.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
What is Mav the one that's good at golf?
Neither of them.
Neither.
Yeah.
I've seen his action on.
He's got potential, and I love. I'm so into these kids, as I know all y'all are. It's like they take over. That's the
It's
meaning.
fun as hell.
That's the meaning of your life.
Yeah.
It's seeing them grow and go through these little phases. But yeah, Maverick's got some decent talent in golf, but he'd rather go surfing.
Really?
If there's a wave, he's going surfing. He's much more into that.
Matt was playing with Charlie for a while, right?
Yep. They still hang, but they more go fish together. Because behind Charlie's house at Eland's is the sickest bass hole in like Jupiter.
Really?
Yeah. They catch Nash and Nash hates golf, but Charlie loves Nash because Nash slays.
Really?
Nash is just a natural fisherman, and yeah, Nash caught a 7.5 pounder the other day
Jesus.
in there. Yeah, they catch fatties at Old Palm.
Wow.
Yeah, but Charlie's kind of it's so advanced compared to Maverick in golf. I don't even think Charlie likes to look at Maverick's golf swing anymore. He's like, God, Mav. He caddied for Mav in a tournament. Mav's caddied for him. And
That's so cool.
yeah, they have fun. But Maverick said the other day, he's like, Dad, Charlie hits it like further than you. I said, yeah, I know. He's real pure.
Is there any?
I'm digressing. He's progressing.
So Charlie's about the same age as you were when you hung it up for a decade.
Yeah, close.
Is there? You got to be worried.
I would have
about,
crushed him.
Got to
at
be
that
worried
age.
about burnout. I mean, at that age.
Well, that's the thing about I saw my boys, and I was that dad. You know, I haven't played any golf in 5 years, so I've been at home on the sidelines of all these events. And at first, I was going nuts, like hands in the air, like
What are you
talking to
doing?
the coaches, and then talking to my dude. I'm like, dude, how are you that uncoordinated? I mean, your first step needs to be back on these patterns, and if you're playing quarterback or something, cornerback. And now I'm just like, what am I doing? Just support them when they need to be supported, and give them some constructive criticism if they want it. But Matt, it almost got it was going to get tough. I was going to be more critiquing, more just pure criticism, and I'm like, dude, 0.01 dudes go on tour.
Right.
Oh,
I'm not going to push my kid to go on tour. I mean,
no,
just
look,
do whatever the hell you
comes
want.
from within. Like you either got the bug or you don't have the bug.
Right.
If you don't have there hasn't been a player that's ever played professional golf that didn't have the bug.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a beauty in letting that go, though, as a father. I mean, you think you want your kid to be the exact same as you,
Right.
and then once you recognize that they aren't, you just got to, okay, you're
No,
just
they'll
going
find
to
their
be
way.
yourself.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The bug, as you called it, that addiction of wanting to get better. I wanted to go hit a bunch of balls when I was that age.
Mm.
And I'm like, Maverick, you want to go hit balls? He's like, nah, bro. He's like, actually, can you come out so you can take us in a golf cart? And he's like,
Kids love golf
eating a
carts.
grilled cheese and like a Gatorade. And we used to like carry our bag for 36 holes a day and just grind. So I guess it's a little different.
I take Liam out to Pablo, and he just wants to go pick up the crab trap and see if there's anything in it.
I love that.
Yeah. So, Will, did you think, or before we get you out of here, did you ever think later in your career that you'd be doing television?
Yeah. I never thought about it. I just not a big
And you're
planner.
really good at it, dude.
I'm not a big planner. I appreciate it. I mean,
You definitely bring a different vibe, which is needed
Energy.
on the court.
yeah, I get pretty energetic. And I remember I did it the first time, and Greg Hoffey, I was like, hey, bro, what do you need me to do?
Yeah.
He goes, I need you to bring more energy. I tried to down it,
Yeah.
Like my first couple times I was in there, like trying to be very proper. Like Matt Every, he's got 167 in.
Is
Looks
that,
like
is that what it sounds like?
a little high draw here, and
The hybrid.
and he's like, nah, dude, just act, dude, be yourself, bring the energy. So, yeah, I didn't think I'd do it, and I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing it, but I'm having fun with it. It's a different vibe, It's a little bit more behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I wanted to go out and do Golf Channel or, I see our boy Johnson Wagner on Golf Central. I'm like, I don't know about that, bro.
Yeah. You might not be a studio guy. is what
Yeah,
you're
that's
saying?
just too. He has to be too polished,
Right.
and too politically correct, and too perfect.
Why is that? Why can't we just have guys on the shows being
But I think
themselves?
ESPN Plus and the
bring
PGA
it.
Tour Live, it's definitely a looser
It's way looser.
seen
Sometimes
the
you
golf
go in there
it's
and like
great.
try to get fired, and you can't do it.
Yeah,
They love it. Some of the producers are fantastic. They know.
Oh, they're
they know what the
giggling
line
in
is.
your ear when
Yeah,
you're.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
And I think it could be even looser. We have like 3 or 4 paid employees out there that are just hitting that mute button when
Oh my-
me or
dude.
Every is dropping F-bombs
Dude.
after we hit a shot.
How good are those mics out there?
Yeah,
They're insane.
Catch
now.
everything.
They pick up everything.
well, we're listening.
Everything.
We're listening to the caddy player, go back and forth, and then we're listening to the reaction of the player, and unfortunately, they bleep it out because of political correctness. They don't want to say something like
Offensive.
I didn't know that
offensive. It's mainly that I don't think they would mind if people were saying shit and
You can say it.
and drop the F bombs, but if you say something that's a little more risque,
Yeah.
about gender or
yeah,
Yeah.
Tour
Yeah.
needs an OnlyFans page for this type of
Late night
content.
content.
absolutely.
Pay to pay
Well,
to
the first week I did it, I didn't know that they had someone that beeped that out. We picked up, I think it was JJ Spawn on a hole. He might have bogeyed the hole before. This guy said the F word 10 times before he hit a shot and 10 times after. Like, I mean, just fuck this, fuck, whatever. And
That's
I'm
what
like,
the F word is, guys.
I'm looking at my the guy I was doing it with. I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, I can't believe this. But then I
Was
guess
it muted?
Oh yeah, they muted it.
But then you got to come on and act like he's like said nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that with it being the ESPN Plus, that's like almost the ESPN X. I mean,
Yeah, you
it doesn't need to be X-rated, but
No, but you should let stuff like that go.
The
It's
golf
definitely
world
part
wants
of the
to
deal.
hear it. The
I
golf
believe
world
so.
wants to hear it.
But Jay Monahan and the higher ups, they think they're trying to protect the player in case the player says something that is really
Really, really bad.
yeah, really like you said, like more genderish and that just doesn't play. That
Or
stuff doesn't
gender-ish.
that stuff doesn't play in today's market, man. Nobody likes
It's
that.
tough. It's a tough.
There are
line to
certain
walk.
cuss words that work better than others.
Well, they should have those guys should. I mean, if you're full time
Yeah.
doing that, you should be able to differentiate what is okay.
Exactly.
F-bombs are okay, and the
Hey, the other day on the
And the
radio,
other F
the other
word
day
is
on
not
the
used.
yeah.
the other day on the radio, I said dipshit. All right, and they're like, "Whoa, oh," like that, and I was like, "What? Is that really that bad?" And but
Golf is a four-letter
they're
word.
saying you're allowed to say ass on the radio, so there needs to be a like list of cuss words that we need a new list. A new list. Like that F word is okay as long as you
So all
don't
the
abuse
dips
it.
in the world were all
Contextual,
triggered.
Yes, just don't abuse it. But you should be able to use
It's
it.
a very descriptive term.
What?
The F word, I mean, it covers everything.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it
You
is.
use it in most senses.
It's a tough game.
It's been around a
Especially
while,
if
too.
You're playing it for a living, and you go rifle one like 50 yards into the trees. I mean, how do you not just drop the F bomb?
Or a GD, yeah, or
Yeah.
something.
Well, back to golf. So I do want to ask this question. So when you come back from Costa Rica, you're grinding. I'm guessing you think that, yeah, I am going to win a PGA Tour event, even though I haven't played competitive golf in 10 years.
Yeah, probably wasn't
And you
thinking
did,
that
you won.
far down, but I knew I was going to get on tour. I knew I'd get on tour. Or, it could have been a false sense of confidence or whatever, but I had the picture in my mind that I would be out there. I don't know about winning, or I don't know what kind of success I'd have, but I knew I was going to get out there. I just told myself I was, and so I was grinding.
And then your first win was out west, out in the mountains of
Yeah,
Reno.
Tahoe. Yeah, that was
Felt comfortable.
felt comfortable. The sage all around me. I would like walk
That's
down
a
the
cool
fairway,
place.
grab the sage and rub it all over my body. Like, oh, it was like my deodorant. It smells so good. As I was all vibed out.
Mountain
Yeah,
man.
That was an underrated event
I
because
missed-
it was always opposite, but Montreux was
yeah.
a
I mean,
good track.
I won tiny events, but they were cool.
Who
That golf
cares?
course was so cool.
What was the other one?
Cool.
Viking.
The old Sanderson Farms.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's kind of a whack golf course, but fun. I remember I saw
That was the best greens on
a
tour.
stat. I was like, I think I missed 18 greens that week, but I got up and down 17 times. So work on your short game, fellas.
That's right.
That's the key.
Yep. And
Key to
and
scoring for sure.
I was gonna say stay in school, but I don't think you subscribe to that.
I mean, college would have been cool. But, I don't know.
Well, this has been the most fun I've ever had on a podcast.
Yeah, this was good.
Thanks for having me, fellas.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we should.
You gonna scratch the itch? You turn 50 soon.
Come on.
I'm going to scratch it. I'm going to definitely go to Q school.
Hell yeah.
They only take 5 dudes.
How old are you?
I'll grind 48.
Are you
I guess
really,
48
bro?
and a half.
Just round up.
So I'll go. I think they give you 2 times. I get to
That's
go
the other
2
thing,
years.
too, kids. Stay active. Look how young this guy looks for 48.
Yeah, that's going to be the key. How I feel then. As long as I stay active, I still actually hit it great. I hit the ball real nice.
Shock.
It's just like whether I'm going to be able to putt and chip. There's days that I putt decent, and
Your
then
body
days
feel decent
I putt
enough?
shitty. I might have to have maybe like maybe a left hip surgery or maybe another left knee surgery. But other than that, I'm pretty good. Dude,
get them done at the same time.
Dude, they're like miracles. If you, those guys will get you in and out with a little quick surge. Get you a couple Vikes, get you a couple Perkies, and you'll be on your feet hitting balls in like 2 weeks. It's crazy.
No problem.
Oh, my God.
No worries, mate.
I love you, Will.
Love you guys.
Thanks for coming on, bud.
Thanks.
Thanks for
Cheers.
having me.
Right.